So now let's talk about using the ribbon. The ribbon is this band at the top of your worksheet, and it contains functional tabs and replaces the menu system used in previous versions. The Home tab, which is our first tab here, contains most frequently used commands, while each of these following tabs are more task specific. So if I were to click on View, I now see tasks that all are connected with how I view my worksheet. Now if I were to click on Page Layout, it changes my view of my particular spreadsheet. If I go back and click on Normal, I'm back to the original way that I was looking at my workbook. So let's go ahead back to Home. Most of the buttons on the ribbon execute a command like the ones we just used, but other buttons have a down-dropping arrow indicating an option or gallery. A gallery is a graphic display of choices. If a button is grayed out, that command is not available to the current task. So if I come and look at my Fonts menu and I see my Fill button right here, if I were just to click on that button, you notice that it's going to make my cell yellow because that's the selected color. But you'll also notice that there's a drop-down arrow next to it. When I click on it, it gives me a gallery of colors. And what happens with a gallery is you see as I move my mouse, the color of that cell is changing to indicate whatever color my mouse happens to be currently on. I'm going to go ahead and click on the green. Now, if I come up on my Home tab and just click on Copy, I now am copying my green cell. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with cut, copy, and paste, we're going to be covering this in a future lesson. This example is just to show you how our different icons are working. If I come up here and I click on cell B3 and I come up to my paste button and just click on it, it just makes it that color. But if I now click on B6 and I click on the drop down arrow, I can paste it as a picture. And I'm going to choose Paste as Picture. And now you notice how it looks different. And it's got the little dots around it indicating it's a picture instead of just a filled cell. But what it's also doing is because it is an object that's selected, it's now brought up what's called a contextual tab. The contextual tabs contain commands related to a selected object, such as this picture, and they only appear up here on the ribbons when the object is selected. They're always displayed to the right of the standard tabs, and they have a heading. You notice my picture tool, and have one or more tabs, and in this case it's Format. If I deselect the picture by clicking somewhere else, you notice that my contextual tab went away. Now within each tab we have these divisions that are called groups. The group names are below, so for example the second group is called Font and is labeled here. Many of the groups have a little arrow on the lower right hand corner. This is called our launcher arrow, and when I click on it, what it does is it brings up a dialog box. Now let me cancel this for just a second, and I'm going to come back up and I'm going to click on my B3. So now when I click on my font application launcher, I can go to the fill that's in that cell, and I can choose a fill effect and choose a gradient, and I'm just going to leave it the horizontal. Click OK and click OK and change the coloring of that particular cell. Now the ribbon takes up space at the top of our worksheet. If I'm doing a lot of work on my Excel worksheet and I don't need the commands that are on the ribbon, I can hide the ribbon and give myself more room on my worksheet. To hide the ribbon, if I come up to one of the tabs, you can do it on any tab, and double click, it rolls up the ribbon, so all I see is my formula bar and my worksheet. if I come up and click on Insert, it rolls down my choices for Insert, and then if I go back to working on the worksheet, it rolls back up. Now if I want to permanently bring it back down again, I can go back to Home or any tab and double click, and that will pull the ribbon up permanently until the next time I want to hide it.